Hey everyone. So today I'm going to share some results from the WISC assessment for a client of mine named Jane. I just want to let you know that I'm not the one who administered the test, but it's important for us to understand these results. So Jane is a 10-year-old client of mine. She was referred to me because she's having some academic difficulties. And after taking this assessment, we learned a lot about her cognitive abilities. Overall, her full scale IQ score is 97, which is about average compared to other kids her age. That means her general thinking skills are pretty similar to about 42% of her peers. And when we look at the details, we understand things a little bit better. Her verbal comprehension index is 104, which is actually higher than most of her classmates. This means that Jane is really good with language skills. She knows how to use words properly. That's a big strength for her. But her perceptual reasoning index is a little bit lower, which is at 102. It's still in the average, but it's lower than her verbal skills. Okay, this area really looks at her ability to solve problems using visual information, like patterns and shapes. So now, here's the thing. Here's where things get a little bit more concerning for Jane. Her working memory index is 86, which is in the lower average. Out of all her peers, she falls behind about 18%. Which means she has difficulty holding and manipulating information in her mind. This can impact her learning, especially in a classroom setting. It's likely a factor in her academic struggles, especially when it comes to complex tasks or tests. Another area of concern is her processing speed index, which is 91. Again, it's also in the average range, but just barely. It means she takes longer to process visual information compared to her verbal reasoning skills. And obviously, it can make her harder for her to keep up in class and during a lesson or when she's doing homework. So, what does all this mean? So the results really suggest that her academic difficulties might be because of her working memory and her processing speed issue. Basically, if she's struggling to keep information in her mind or to process it quickly, obviously learning new stuff become a lot more challenging. So here are some recommendations. First of all, Jane can really benefit from lots of review of the information that she needs to remember. Working with her family and teachers to reinforce what she's learned can make a really big difference. Secondly, using techniques, I would say like chunking information into groups. Instead, like for example, instead of remembering a long string of numbers, breaking it into smaller parts. And finally, I would say it's important for her family to support her in completing her homework without putting too much of a pressure emphasis on her grades. Keeping focus on her doing her best and finishing her assignments can really help her feel more comfortable. And that's about it. That's a wrap for Jane. Thanks for listening. And I hope this gives us a clearer picture of her situation.